So we got, a few things we've done in 120 days, whatever. It's been going pretty well. The pace is really hectic. We don't do a lot of navel gazing, and in case you haven't noticed, I kind of like to call him like I see him, just like an umpire, But I think we are, look, with location, with our workforce, with our ability to take our knowledge workers, the drive to lower costs, rationalizing the rules and the regulations that get in the way, particularly of small business, additional programs to encourage investment. All of these things should put us in a position, consistent, lower, and reliable energy costs. All these things should help us to restore the great strength of our state. And when you look around the state, whether it's Cleveland with the Cleveland Clinic, University Hospital, Case, the Eaton Corporation, Parker Hannifin, and you go down to Ohio State and the investment in the cancer research and so many of the industries that we have here in Columbus. You look up in Toledo and First Solar and the announcement today on GM and Owens, Illinois, and the Andersons, and down in Cincinnati at Procter & Gamble and Western and Southern, and the Kroger Company, and you head over to Youngstown and Steubenville, where the possibility of Utica and Marcellus Shale could create a new chapter in the future of the eastern part of Ohio, the ability to develop advanced manufacturing that fits in with alternative energy, advanced manufacturing that can fit in with aeronautics down in Dayton with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and in southern Ohio where we can get great low costs with great hard-working folks. We're going to get it done. We are going to get it done in Ohio and make this state great again. Thank you all. Questions, if they're easy, and if not, we'll filibuster. Who wants to go first? Way up in the back there, sir. Just yell it, bellow it out. Well, I think that, first of all, I hate to sound like Mullally here, but it's a low cost. It's competitiveness. So as we try, what's happened to the state is we've gotten lazy. The government has been lazy. We've not had the leadership to try to make the decisions that need to be made. In your companies, you don't make a decision, you go out of business. When they don't make decisions here, they raise taxes, and it creates a cycle of doom and gloom. Higher taxes, more spending, higher taxes, put off the decisions that need to be made. So I think that, first of all, breaking that cycle and being able to lower our costs really matters. And I think in addition to that, the fact that we have the knowledge workers and the location and the skilled workers that we need in Ohio, because, we're to the point now where location matters, because logistics matters again. Cost of shipping things matters again. We're within 600 miles of 60% of America. We're in a perfect location. So you take all that and get the best trained workforce and drive excellence in K through 12. We have a major reform program out here on K through 12. We want to open the system up so that, first of all, we brought Teach for America into Ohio, which was necessary. Secondly, we are lifting the cap on charter schools, doubling the number of vouchers, not because we're not for public education, but we want parents to have choice. We can learn from the things that work in the alternative education institutions that can be incorporated in your traditional public school. And here's another thing, and hold on to your seats. We really think government workers ought to be paid on the basis of performance. Okay? That's an awful lot about, by the way, Senate Bill 5, where we tell people that, you can negotiate for wages and working conditions, but when it comes to health care and pensions, the leaders that represent the public ought to be negotiating, they're determining that, and in addition, it ought to restore a little bit of balance. In other words, I was at a small business yesterday. I said the gentleman stood up at I think it was in the city of Mason, He said, how are we supposed to manage with less dollars in a local government fund? I said, sir, do you do pension pickup? Well, yeah, we do. So I turned to a lady sitting over here. I said, ma'am, do you have a guaranteed benefit package? No, I have a 401k. I said, you should go and they should come and thank you because you're paying for your own and you're paying for somebody else's. And I'll bet your health care, you're paying a pretty good chunk for that. I said to the councilman, how much are you making them pay on the health care? Because, you know, your average city worker pays 9%. Your workers pay on average 23%. She goes, yeah, I'm over 20%. I said, probably 20, 25, 30%. And I asked the councilman, what do your folks pay? He said, well, I don't really know. I'm on the finance committee. And I said, well, you're probably paying for your own and for somebody else's. But once we're through all of that and everybody gets to get an understanding of it, we want to create a mechanism in Ohio where we reward people on the basis of how they do. And being able to push a very forward-looking K-12 education system is critical because the entire country has not been educating our children to the degree that they ought to. And when people think about bringing a business, they want to know how are the schools. So we've got to work to develop the best schools we can have in Ohio. And for teachers that do a great job, I want to pay them $100,000. They're the most valuable people in our society because they're working with our kids. So let's push them up, and let's make sure that we pass them accountability. So we can, look, we've fought and we've won in the past. We can fight and win again if we look at those obstacles that keep us behind. You know, I heard the other day, we're losing 2 congressmen. I heard Texas is going to gain 4. Texas grew faster in 5 months than we grew in 10 years. We can get people here again. If I didn't believe it, believe me, you can tell, I hope. I don't say things that I don't believe. Ohio can be great again because we're a great place to live. Any other questions? I think you're all maybe good.
Jack O'Neill, Newark, Ohio. I got a question for you.
Jack, you still got that volume. I love it.
Nothing like you, buddy. At any rate, talking about bringing industry to the state of Ohio, we all know the tragedy in Japan, the tsunami, the earthquake, and the land is subject to many more in the years to come. I understand that some of the key industries, the top leadership over there, are considering moving headquarters and manufacturing out of Japan and into our country. In Ohio, we have the most stable land to support heavy machinery. We have a great workforce and we have job-ready site ready to go, 100 to 200 or 300 acres right outside of Columbus. Question, do you have somebody in Japan with a mission to meet with these top guys and show them how great a place we have here in the Buckeye State? Yeah,
Jack, I'd say, first of all, our first goal is to take, you remember the old Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, love the one you're with. The first thing I want to do is love the businesses that are here because we have a much greater chance of improving employment in this state by strengthening the business that exists, retain and expand. Secondly, as you know, Jim Rhodes went, I'll tell you a funny story. These are the ones that always get me in trouble. But let me tell you, I met with a Chinese delegation here soon after I was elected. They'd been traveling around and people said, how's it going? They said, oh, people really like us. He said, do you mind if I speak candidly? I said, no. I said, we don't really like you very much. And the reason why we don't is you manipulate your currency and steal our jobs. I said, now, many years ago, there was a feeling of real, in some sense, anger towards the Japanese. And right outside of Columbus here, about 40 miles away, the Japanese made a major investment called Honda. Jim Rhodes went over and got them. And they've now invested $8 billion in this state. They are a terrific partner in our state. And I, by the way, called the president of Honda out there after that horrific. Somebody told me the other day they've had 50 earthquakes with at least 5.0 on the Richter scale. to make a long story short, we want Chinese investment. The mayor of Toledo is working hard on that, Jack. And we'd love to have Japanese investment. I think that we probably want to think about Honda as being a way in which we can have those conversations. Rushing in there now, my instincts tell me, probably wouldn't go down very well. And I think your point about, are there things that we can offer them, something we ought to explore. Jack, the one thing I don't want to do is go on a mission where, I'm not sure we're going to get much. But your point is well taken, and a lot of the ideas I get are from smart people like you. So we'll go back and put out some feelers. And it's one of the things about our new Jobs Ohio. This is going to be an organization that will hire the best and the brightest, that will understand business, because it's not just filling out a box. It's being able to call the lead director, it's calling the CEO, and not just once, multiple times in order to do things. So good suggestion, Jack, and we'll follow up on it. Hey, I love the chamber. Thank you all very, very much, and I hope you can hang in there, be part of our team, and together we'll make Ohio great again. See you. And none of this would be possible without the leaders of our legislature. Bill Batchelder and Tom Niehaus and the members have done a fantastic job in moving a flurry of legislation that no one thought was possible. So when you see them tonight, thank them for the fact that they have really worked great and are great partners in terms of turning the state around. Linda, you're going to put a video up there.